Hello, fellow gamers. You know, I thought it would be at least another year before we saw anything of note on The Witcher 4. The CDPR reps did say that the company would change its tune after the cyberpunk fiasco. Try to inform rather than create hyperbole and cause misperception. That CDPR released a 6-minute CGI video for The Witcher 4 this early into development. Yeah, that tells me the company's tune hasn't really changed. And if that is true, all CDPR has done in trying to regain credibility is give us lip service. That means CDPR has no more regard for gamers now than when it misled them with Cyberpunk, when the powers that be at CDPR also outright lied to investors and strong-armed reviewers into using B-roll footage. None of the aforementioned bodes well. What I haven't mentioned doesn't bode well either. Much as I love playing as Geralt, I did not want him as the protagonist or even to appear in The Witcher 4. Geralt's story is done. It's ended. Basically, I wanted something new, something different, and unfortunately, The Witcher 4 does not appear to be it. Despite being a huge fan of Ciri, I must recognize and am unable to reconcile several problems with Witcher Ciri. Witcher Ciri, to start with, is incongruous to the lore that doesn't state outright females cannot be Witchers, but so strongly implies it that the lore might as well state it outright. As bad as that is, though, the utter lack of imagination and cowardice to explore something new, it is something that worries me more. You know, we could have had Elder Blood Ciri tackling strange new worlds and battling strange new enemies, enemies that would be on par with her powers and ability and make it a challenge. That would have been freaking awesome. Or a new character, totally created from scratch, would mean that the shackles of a pre-existing character would be removed. We could fully roleplay that person rather than being limited by a pre-existing character and their moral code. You know, we could have had something way better as far as role-playing goes than what we've had in the past from CDPR. A new character, not pre-existing, set in the past when monsters were more prevalent and Witchers were actually needed. And there we get to another problem with Witcher Ciri. At the end of TW3, Witchers had become more or less obsolete. The world had pretty much moved past them. They were a dying breed, and it was made obvious they were a dying breed. So why do we need Witcher Ciri at all? Moreover, how did they create Witcher Ciri? Vesemir died, being the only one who knew how to complete the trials. He didn't pass those secrets on because no one else wanted them. Every Witcher at Kaer Morhen wanted the Witchers to die out anyway. As for those who claim the knowledge of completing the trials came from the School of the Cat, we have to keep in mind that sect was pretty much gone at the end of TW3. Or, you know, I guess you could hypothesize that it was the Grandmaster Smith in Toussaint. Right. Or maybe Ciri came across some long-lost tome that explains how to complete the trials, and suddenly Geralt is on board with her becoming a mere Witcher. It really makes no sense and defies logic and reason. At any rate, let's say we excuse all of that. We're still left with this. What is CDPR to say to those who had The Witcher 3 end with Ciri becoming Empress? Sorry, your choices don't matter. Heck, I haven't even touched on how the Elder Blood could suddenly lose its magical power after having lasted for centuries. I mean, why would it? Because of the White Frost? Because she defeated the White Frost? That is what took the power away from the Elder Blood? I mean, it all sounds like such a crock. And it's also stupid because it introduces so many issues. The ones that we've already talked about and these. Witcher Ciri doesn't take the series in a new direction. In staying with the familiar, CDPR has limited its potential customers to those who, 1, haven't already abandoned CDPR because of cyberpunk, 2, haven't abandoned CDPR because of the DEI direction, and 3, wanted Ciri to become a Witcher. Of course, there are those who will support this game simply because the studio is DEI and because the game features a strong female character. To each their own. And collectively, though, those won't be enough for the studio to make much of a profit on a game that requires hundreds of millions of dollars to create. Like BioWare, CDPR is a developer desperate to regain some of its past reputation, and more than anything, seems to have done a fine job setting itself up for failure. I hope I'm wrong in all this, and I hope that CDPR can adequately explain why they've gone in the direction and make Ciri a compelling Witcher protagonist. I really hope that. I don't see it happening. I really don't. If they don't, I'll return to playing truly legendary games. Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Dragon Age Origins, and hope that we see something sometime that's along the lines of Baldur's Gate 3, something that helps redefine the future of role-playing games and is not just an exciting game to play, but is an actual experience. That's what I was hoping from The Witcher 4 and CDPR. And I'm still hoping for that, but my hopes, they have been seriously dashed. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. Happy gaming.